Hey, it's Dustin from Green Method Farms and co-creator of hempfarmingacademy.com. And in this video, I am going to show you how to farm industrial hemp using the farming methods that we used this year. So stick with me. First of all, I just want to mention that we've had a ton of fun this year farming hemp. It's a beautiful plant, and it's almost instantly gratifying to watch these things grow. Only 4 months ago, we planted them early May, and they were about 5 or 6 inches tall. Just these little things, you didn't even know if they're going to survive, and before you know it, they are growing, and every week there's progress until they get to the size where they're almost as tall as me. They're as tall as me in some areas of this field. And then they're just producing beautiful flowers and have a really nice smell. So even though the plants mature over the course of 4 months here in Central Oregon, we have been planning this process over the course of more like 9 months since the beginning of the year, taking samples of our soil and getting those tested to understand the pH levels and also understand the nutrients within the soil. And then it took some time to till the soil and get it right so that we could lay our plastic and our drip line and eventually plant in early June. One of the things that you're going to want to consider when you decide that you're going to farm hemp is what genetics are you going to use. Not all seeds are created equal. For us, it was really important that the seed company had a good track record of producing really large, high CBD percentage plants, and also they had a high percentage feminization rate. Out of the 12,000 plants that we have here in this field, we've only found 5 male plants that we had to remove, which makes farming a little bit easier. And we know that we're going to be able to keep most of our crop and allow the females just to fulfill the genetic potential that they have. Once we decided on the genetics that we were going to use for this field, we began propagating the seeds in a greenhouse in early May. And during that time, that gave us the ability to be able to lay our rows and lay our plastic mulch and our drip tape and establish a nice, healthy, moist soil to be able to plant our seedlings in early June. When it comes time to plant your seedlings into the ground, you want to get as much help as possible. We got about 7 or 8 people on planting days to be able to help us, and we utilized a water wheel transplanter, which is an implement that goes on the back of a tractor, and it has 2 seats where 2 people can sit, and they will drop their seedlings into holes that are created by the transplanter, about 4 acres into the ground each day. Once the seedlings are in the ground, the next couple months really is all about just making sure the plant is getting all of the proper water and nutrients that it needs to be able to fulfill its genetic potential. Those farming duties would include just checking and removing weeds in your rows. You can notice in our field, we're pretty much weed free. We have a really clean field, and this has really helped us allow all of the nutrients and water to go straight to the plant instead of it being robbed by weeds and other types of things. The other thing with weeds is you really don't want that in your biomass at the end of the season, so it's really important to be able to keep a clean field. The other thing you want to stay on top of is watering and giving the plants the fertilizer and the nutrients that they need throughout the season. Obviously, this is going to be a little bit different in the beginning of the season from the middle towards the end of the season. So in the beginning, the plants are small. They're really not drinking a lot of water, and they don't need a lot of water. But when it gets really hot in the middle of the summer, mid-July, plants are large and they are drinking a lot of water. So you need to make sure they're getting enough water at that point and that they're getting the nutrients that they need. Sometime mid to late July, the plant is going to transfer from the vegetative stage to the flowering stage, and it's going to really start focusing on producing flowers for the rest of the season. And so you're going to want to switch up your fertilizer to be able to help that out, because the sun and the light schedule is telling the plant, hey, it's time to be able to bud. And so you want your fertilizer and your nutrients to be able to follow that schedule that they are naturally getting from the sunlight. When it comes to fertilization, we fertilized straight through the drip tape right to the roots, as well as a foliar feeding. So at the beginning of the season, when we were foliar feeding, we just used a backpack sprayer, and it was relatively easy to be able to walk the rows and spray the plants. But as the plants got bigger, you can imagine spraying a large plant like this is going to take a lot of time, and to be able to do that over 10 acres, 12,000 plants, it's going to take, we figured it would probably take about 50 man hours. So my partner developed a new little mechanism, and he was able to put a sprayer on the back of three-wheeler and be able to go up and down the rows and spray that way. So that brings up another point, because we spaced our rows 8 feet wide so that we could drive a 3 or 4-wheeler down without any problems. Some people don't like to do that. They like to, maximize their land. We have a lot of land here, and so we figured, why not space the rows out really large so that we can drive an ATV up and down the rows. So in a week or two, we will be cutting and drying the plants, and we'll take a combine that has been modified, kind of like a mint conversion kit, to be able to keep the really light stuff and get rid of the stalks and stems, so that we can have a real nice homogeneous biomass that we can send to the extraction facility to have the oil extracted from these plants. Something that you'll definitely want to consider before you decide to start farming hemp is the risk that's involved. Anytime you get into farming, there's certain things that are out of your control. For instance, about a month ago, we had a major hailstorm that swept through the region. Hail the size of gumballs, and it absolutely ravaged this field and many other fields around us. You can actually see some of the damage still on these leaves. Broke the stems, broke leaves. And luckily, it was about a month ago, so the plant had just started flowering. And after the hailstorm, I think the plant gave all of its energy to producing the flowers. We were fortunate because we still have something to show for it, and it looks like this crop has not only survived, but it's thrived. But there are other farms in the region that lost everything. They had nothing but sticks and stems left in their field. So you definitely want to consider the risk that's involved, because there is a lot of risk in farming. And that's why I've created a couple resources for you. The first one is a free PDF that is a hemp farming timeline and budget planner. So on this PDF, it'll go January through December, and it'll tell you the things that you need to be doing each month during that month. And it'll also show you a per acre budget so that you can plan your financing for your hemp farm. All you have to do to download that PDF for free is just click the link in the description, and that'll take you to a page where you can download the Hemp Farming Timeline and Budget Planner. The other resource I want to offer you is called Hemp Farming Academy. Hemp Farming Academy is an online video course that takes you step by step from field preparation all the way through harvest when it comes to farming hemp. I've partnered with farmer Tom Lauerman on this project, and farmer Tom's been growing cannabis and hemp for most of his life, and he brings a wealth of knowledge to this course. So if you are planning on farming hemp and you want some instructions and some help along the way, Hemp Farming Academy would be a great resource for you. You can find it at hempfarmingacademy.com, or you can also click the link that is in the description for that. Well, thanks for watching this video. Hopefully it's been helpful for you. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put those in the comment section below. And I wish you a successful hemp farming season.